Our new chairman begins a generational knowledge of the industry combined with the next generation visioning for positioning the industry. It's my honor to introduce the 2021 and 2022 chairman of the Wine and Spirits Wholesalers of America, Chris Underwood.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you to the WSWA members joining us today. I am delivering this message to the wholesaler tier of the greatest alcohol marketplace in the world, and I'm doing so from my office in beautiful downtown San Diego, California. I am humbled and honored to serve as WSWA's 75th chairman. I feel blessed to be part of a multi-generational family business in Young's Market Company and to have the experiences of both my father and my grandfather to lead from a perspective rooted in history, family values, and a deep understanding of our industry. Young's Market Company was actually founded in 1888 by Peter Young in Los Angeles as a quality meat store. Peter was followed by one of his sons, George, who was then followed by my grandfather, Vern Underwood Sr. He married a Young, Adrian Young. My grandfather headed up the newly created spirit and wine division of Young's Market Company post-Prohibition. As you may know, my grandfather was famous for the development of one of the most popular drinks in the world, the margarita. Yes, Google the history of the margarita and you will find Vern Underwood. My father was next, Vern Underwood Jr., who led the Underwood family's buyout of the Youngs in 1990 and was a 2012 recipient of the WSWA Lifetime Achievement Award and is well known as a comedic legend throughout our industry. I humbly follow in their footsteps. As your chairman, I will work every day with all wholesalers in mind, knowing that I am following a long list of great leaders who have served in this role and have helped shape the industry as we all recognize it today. Looking back, so many periods of leadership challenged our chairman more than others. Some eras provided opportunities to meet challenges which helped shape positive change, and some periods were steady and consistent. Many regard this as the best of times. But I challenge this mindset because, as Danny Wirtz pointed out roughly a year ago when he assumed this position, now is the time, coming out of a crippling crisis, to meet the new world head on. Change is no longer on the horizon. It's here right now. While we are still exiting an unprecedented and, God willing, once every 100-year crisis, much has already changed, but change is still very much in motion. And so I challenge all of you, we must shape the change for wholesalers today and tomorrow. So I'd like to share with you something of one of my predecessors said some time ago. I'm going to read some excerpts from a speech given to wine and spirits distributors years ago, titled, "The Future of Wholesalers." The future of the wholesaler. So what about this future? Does the independent wholesaler have a place in the age of household computers that will pay our bills, do our shopping, turn on our appliances, control our cooking? Our critics say no. They say we're an old-fashioned business of the 19th century, clinging to life in the 20th. They say we are an unnecessary luxury, that the supplier can do it better. But let's get the record straight. In my opinion, no supplier has ever been, is not now, and will never be able to perform the wholesaler functions as capably as can the independent wholesaler. And also, let me remind those suppliers not selling direct as wholesalers legally or by subterfuge, but who supply their merchandise to those that do, are by their very actions helping to undermine the very foundation upon which this business is built, the free enterprise system. We better ask ourselves, where are we going? If we don't stop, ponder, and plan now for the tremendous age ahead, many of our businesses will not survive the duration of this century, not to mention the next. At best, the wholesaler life is not an easy one. The return on equity invested is low compared to other industries. Why then do all of us here continue to operate as wholesalers in this industry? I can't speak for you, but as far as myself, I am proud of the business I am in. I've been associated with no other business, nor am I now, where there are as many challenges as there are in this business. I am proud of the fact that my son chose this business for his career. He, of his own volition, believes in its future for himself and his family. For the good of the liquor business and the consumer, there has to be an independent wholesaler. Critics say that 20 years from today, there will be no need of our services. So we have to prove to distillers, importers, and vintners that they are far better off operating with wholesalers. We've got to show them we can do the job better than they can themselves. And ultimately, this benefits the consumer. Because, my friends, to paraphrase a familiar biblical phrase, in the beginning, there was the consumer. And the consumer will always be with us. We operate because he has given us this privilege. And we must always remember, if we don't constantly be alert to the consumer's needs and moods, he can also vote us out of business. Another responsibility for wholesalers in the days ahead is to see that the independent importers and small independent distillers are not completely pushed into the background. If the small distillers and importers are not given the opportunity to grow, and we are the only ones who can give them this opportunity, eventually we will lose our independence. We will become puppets to the will of the remaining large combines of distillers and importers. When I say our responsibility, I mean because without our support, the small distiller and importer has no way to go. Eventually, he will have to sell out or quit his business. The more eggs you have in one basket, the more fear you must have of the basket breaking up. If our wholesale industry is going to be strong, if our state and national organizations for wholesalers are going to be strong, and they must be, then we must have wholesalers who are strong. For our collective actions will be determined by what we are as individuals. Our future, ladies and gentlemen, rests in our hands. It will be what we make of it. So this speech was given by my grandfather, Vern Underwood Sr., at the 25th Annual WSWA Convention in Washington, D.C., May 8th, 1968. That was 53 years ago. So what does this speech mean to you? What does it mean to us as wholesalers today? To me, it's a message from the past about the future. It's clear that the challenges the middle tier faced in 1968 by my grandfather were very similar to those we face today, given the context. What I mean is there's so much that has not changed. Advancing technologies, the threat of supplier direct-to-consumer sales, consolidation within all three tiers, ensuring smaller suppliers and brands are getting attention, meeting shifting consumer needs, and ensuring product diversity. These are all issues wholesalers continue to face 53 years later. And so while change is a constant theme, rapid change is something we can all claim as our own in 2021. Technology continues to revolutionize the way all business is done. Our industry is not immune. Technology has enabled consumers to be more knowledgeable, demanding, wanting immediate satisfaction, and unafraid to share their impatience on social media. Our response to these demands should never be no. As my grandfather said, the consumer will always be with us. Wholesalers need to be open to these changes. If convenience exists for other consumer goods, we must adapt and listen to the consumer. They are creating the future marketplace for us, with us. So we must adapt to ensure our tier is providing value to this future marketplace because wholesalers have always delivered. We must listen, work collaboratively with our suppliers and retail partners, and provide solid three-tier solutions. Every wholesaler, each individual one, offers unique value to the industry. Competition is good. Competition makes the three-tier system stronger. I know this to be true, and so did my grandfather. Let's continue to have conversations about where the industry is going. Large and small members, companies alike, we have to open up the dialogue. Today, as we face these ongoing challenges, WSWA is actively engaged in advancing the priorities of family-owned wholesalers at both the federal and state regulatory levels. It is incumbent upon each and every one of us to provide value, input, feedback, and guidance. If wholesalers are not involved, the marketplace will evolve without us, and a world without wine and spirits wholesalers would be bleak for the consumer. Over the past year in my role as vice chairman, I have seen major advocacy efforts in action, including continued opposition to any and all tariffs on wine and spirit products from the European Union, ensuring essential worker status for wine and spirit wholesalers across the country, fighting against proposed legislation that would allow the United States Postal Service to ship beverage alcohol, supporting the hospitality industry so devastated by the pandemic by lobbying for the inclusion of full reinstatement of the deduction on business meals in the latest COVID relief package. The active monitoring and countering state by state of direct threats to the three-tier system, like interstate direct-to-consumer shipping bills, irresponsible delivery legislation, and the various actions taken by attorneys general through the 21st Amendment Enforcement Act. And finally, just weeks ago, the introduction of a model federal regulatory framework for adult use cannabis rooted in the near century of experience our industry has in transporting and regulating socially sensitive products. The original intention of the three-tier system was primarily regulatory, ensuring the effective and efficient taxation of beverage alcohol, enforcing laws that protect the health and safety of our communities, and avoiding monopolies while maintaining a free and open alcohol marketplace. These original intentions continue to be extremely relevant today. This free and open marketplace ensures access and brand variety in the marketplace while fostering brand innovation. Wholesalers are able to pair their logistics expertise with data insights and education to really expand and specialize brand exposure by market and serve the modern consumer. After all, as my grandfather said, the consumer is always with us. Today, more than ever, the consumer wants convenience, and local licensed delivery is the answer. WSWA was able to play a significant role in helping develop and champion the alcohol delivery pioneers at Drizzly, and we must continue with a commitment to accelerating our digital evolution. We continue to see consolidation in all three tiers, along with alcohol delivery sales that have and will continue to be a significant force. But I'm confident that the three-tier system will stand the test of time, and I'm grateful to take on this leadership role to help champion the message. These are unprecedented times, and the work of WSWA has never been more paramount. It is critically important and valued. I am proud to have an incredible team at WSWA and could not be more confident in their work. All of our member companies performed with exceptional resilience and have adapted to this new world. Because of great leadership, our companies continue to rise to the occasion. I saw member companies go the extra mile to support those in our communities directly affected by the pandemic. You did this while continuing to operate under extraordinary and stressful circumstances. To the great professionals within our industry, whether you are in delivery, operations, warehouse, sales, or other support functions, thank you for keeping the core of our wholesale businesses running. I am proud to stand with you as your chairman. Cheers to our future, for it is what we make it. Thank you.